Yo, what's up guys? I'm here with another video. This one is going to be about me hitting diamond in like 50 games, started a new account. Got to diamond with a pretty decent win rate. I think it was like 70% or something. And I just want to share what I think are like tips or what you could be doing to climb up to diamond at least. What I've learned from like these 50 games and how you can put that to work in your own games. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It helps me out. And let's start with the first topic. For starters, I'm going to talk about something that's very simple that I feel like a lot of people don't really do. I know there's some stuff like Professor going around, but I would highly recommend going on lolalytics.com. What you can do here is just type in your own champion, and it gives you all the stats to every elo that your specific champion is played in. It gives you all the matchup stats, all the rune stats, all the item stats. You can see what like the win rate is on your champion when you first build that item as a first item, or what the win rate is if you build those items in a certain order, what the most used rune pages are, what the highest win rate rune pages are. It just really helps you improve your champ pool if you're playing like a small amount of champions, because you can optimize it even better. But I would also use this as like a little guidebook to just look at the matchups and make sure you aren't just hard countered. Because like even if you are really good on a champion, for example, I am a Samira mid lane main and I love playing Samira mid and there's some really good matchups out there. But if I'm playing against a Talia, which is almost unplayable for me mid lane, where the matchup has like, let's say, a 40% win rate, why on earth would I pick Samira? Why would I pick my one trick champion when I could pick something else that I'm also good at and have like a 60% average win rate compared to my 40% average? Or not my, but like the average win rate of people playing that matchup. Like you can be really good at the game, but some champs just hard counter some champions and it's really hard for you to do anything. So just keep that in mind, look at the matchups, look at their win rates, and kind of pick according to that. I wouldn't just blindly suggest picking anything though, like don't just pick anything because it hard counters. You do actually like need hands and to be able to play that champion. But for sure expand your champ pool a little bit to have a couple multiple champions open for your role, and then pick according to like what is the best in that specific situation. But also the item win rates I feel like are really relevant, because you might be building in a certain way that you saw someone else do in like a ranked game or whatever, or you think this is like the meta, but then you look at the win rate and it's like, hold up, people who built this item first have like a 6% lower win rate than this specific first item, so why am I even building this? So yeah, like I said, just look at these stat sites and just take a look at the champions that you play and really figure out what are like the good matchups, what are champions you can pick into certain champions, what are champions you shouldn't pick into certain champions, and like what are the actual like good builds and good item spikes that you can build on your champion. It's also really easy to see how good something is in the meta because you can just see like the average win rate. Like I personally wouldn't recommend playing a really bad champion in the current meta. Like I don't know why you wouldn't play the meta if you can actually play those champions. Like would you rather want to play a 46% win rate support when you could be playing a 54% win rate support? Like there's a reason why these supports have such high win rates across the board. You can also sort according to your own elo, so you can kind of see what is best in like, let's say, gold or platinum. But yeah, usually the lower win rate champions are just not good in the meta, and I wouldn't really recommend playing them. Being good on a champ only gets you so far. So another short thing on these stats, if you aren't familiar with this site u.gg, you can just really easily look up a counter to a matchup. Let's say their mid laner already picked and you haven't picked yet, and you just want to see what is really good and really bad to the matchup. You can literally just Google, like, I don't know, let's say Lux mid counter. You click the first link. This patch just started, so I'll just go to the last patch because there's a more like sample size. But as you can see, this is already really helpful. Let's say you really wanted to play Yone, and then you look at the matchup versus Lux, and then you can be like, hold up, 46% win rate into Lux? That doesn't sound very good. And maybe you're also like a decent Gragas player, and then you could be like, oh, I mean, why don't I just pick that? Why don't I just take the 10% extra average win rate that people have in this matchup and play still a champion I'm decent at to have a better chance at winning this matchup and winning out the game? So yeah, just take a look at the stats, and don't get me wrong, every lane is winnable to an extent, but some champs are just like hard counters or just not good at all in the current meta. And these stats will really help you improve on like, I guess, grasping how good your champion is and what the matchups are. So second, and this is probably something a lot of people don't really want to hear, but you do have to hear it and you do have to realize that this is true, but a lot of people think that they are in losers queue or they're stuck because of trolling teammates and griefers, And you have to realize you are not stuck because of these people. We all play the same game, we all get these griefers, we all get these roles. I lost some games as well because people stopped playing the game at level 4. Some people just left, some people went 0-10 with Mobies. There was one guy who said in terms like, yo guys, I'm running it, I'm going Nunu mid, and he did lock in Nunu. Thankfully someone dodged, but we are all experiencing the same people. And yeah, it's frustrating to get these people and to lose some LP because of it, but there is no point in focusing on these games. You just take the L, you go next, you try not let it tilt you. If it does tilt you, just take a break and then play when you feel better. But you do have to realize that you are not stuck in whatever elo you are because of these people. You get them, I get them, pro players get them, we all get them. We all get AFKers, we all get like the soft inters, we all get the toxic people. But thinking you are being held back by specifically those people is just like a loser's mindset. This way you will never improve, this way you will never climb. There is no point to focus on these games that you cannot change anyway. If you have a troll and he's inting, okay, no worries, just go next. The way you should always be looking at the game, in my opinion, is that all the people who are above you, for example, I am Diamond right now, but I know that there's Master and GM and Challenger players who wouldn't even struggle in the elo that I'm playing. Right, they wouldn't struggle in mid-diamond to high diamond lobbies. They wouldn't. It would be like a cakewalk for them. So how come they can and I can't? It's because I'm not as good as them. But it's not because I get an occasional AFK or griefer. Like, no, they had to deal with that as well. They're just mechanically better. They know the game better. They play the macro sense better. And that's how you should be looking at the game. You have to focus on your own improvement and not focus on these trolls or griefers. They are not the reason you're being held back in any elo. Also, another thing you really have to keep in mind, I see a lot of people post their games and they're like, wow, look, I went 3-0 and I still lost, what can I do? Right, but going 3-0 against a player of your own skill level, let's say it is silver, that is not very good. You're only going 3-0 against a silver player. Like, again, you can get the same mindset like, okay, I know for sure a master player would go 30-0 here. And I understand that you are far off from a master player probably, but that is the mindset you want to have, right? You want to be mechanically on par with those people. So don't think just because you're winning your lane like 2-0 and 3-0 that you should be climbing. No, you have to be way better. You have to like be stomping these lanes. You have to get the macro sense of the people who are actually reaching higher elo. Look at what they're doing to win games. Look how good their mechanics are. So just to be clear, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay people that go like 3-0. Of course, that's good. Good job, you're winning your lane. But keep in mind that a really good player, like a way higher elo player, the elo that you're trying to get, that guy would already be going like, I'm not even joking, a diamond player could easily go 30-0 in your games. I've done this. I've played on accounts that were silver and gold, and I promise you, I go 30-0. There's such a huge difference in skill level between, like, for example, low gold and diamond. There really just is. So you should have the mindset of getting to that higher skill level. You should be trying to stomp these games. And if you can't yet, that's absolutely fine, but that should be your goal. And on the next topic is also going to be regarding teammates, but more about how you can like control them. And what I mean with that is like we all play the game where we have teammates who just like make really bad plays late game or mid game or early game, and there's not much you can do about it but communicate. So you do really have to communicate. And I really mean it like as much as possible. There are occasions where I'm playing mid lane and my mid lane is roaming down to bot lane and I can't follow, and I ping it and they still die, and I could be like, okay, that's their fault for not listening to the ping, and it's kind of true, but I could have pinged more, right? I should be pinging as much as possible. I should do whatever I can to stop my teammates from like throwing the game and making it so I lose. Which is also why shot calling is kind of important if you do know the macro. Like, let's say you, like, there's so many games where we ace them and we can win the game, and my jungler is pathing towards the Baron, and I'm just like, I insta-type to him, I insta-ping the next, I'm like, what are you doing? We can win the game, we can win the game. And then he walks on in and is like, oh, what a surprise. We hit the Nexus and we won. But imagine you don't win there and you still lose the late game. That'd be terrible. And you could have prevented that by like pinging or typing to them. Like, obviously you want to stay nice and not spam ping too much, but if you are picking, for example, a roam, or you know the jungler is somewhere and they're about to be ganked, just spam ping them. Who cares if they get annoyed or whatever? At least they don't die and give like the enemy a lead, so you can do as much as you can to carry the game and prevent them from dying. It's the same with wards, always ping wards. It's info for your team that helps you like not get ganked, to help them not get ganked. You could also just type stuff, like for example, you see the jungler around your lane somewhere, or maybe you see him somewhere else across the map. You can still type it. You could be like, oh, enemy jungler is topside right now, and it gives your bot lane a bit more freedom to play the game. Just small stuff like that can actually really help out. And it's kind of the only thing you can do to stop them from like losing on their own, apart from just playing around them. But you don't always want to play around them because they might just be terrible and it's better to like snowball your own lane. So yeah, just communicate as much as you can in obviously a non-toxic way, but if they don't listen, you gotta keep communicating, you know, you gotta keep pinging them. It is what it is. You don't want them to die for free and give your laner like a triple kill. You have to keep pinging them until they leave. I think if you play this way, it also helps a bit with frustration. Like, let's say they do roam or whatever, or something happens and you pinged it like, let's say you pinged it 7 times to be extreme. At least you can say to yourself, okay, that sucks, but I let you guys know like 7 times, right? I did all I could to let you know. You didn't listen, so at least I'm not to blame. I did what I could. So it might be like less tilting for you to know that you did everything possible communication-wise to prevent it. This next topic kind of falls in the same category because it's going to be about macro. Also, I'm not going to be talking about the micro because your own mechanics and like laning phase is something you just have to learn on your own. I do have some guides up that help you like win lane, but I'm mostly going to be talking about the like macro of the game. And speaking on the macro, it is super important to know what to do and to let your team know what to do. And the biggest examples I can think of is like, let's say it's 30 minutes into the game, 30 to 40 minutes. Baron is up and your jungler is trying to kill someone who is bot lane. This is really, really bad. Your jungler cannot be bot lane at 30 to 40 minutes going for like their top laner kill when Baron is up. You cannot do that. You just lose Baron for free. It's the same with Souls, it's the same with Elder. You have to be near the objectives. And you can also, this is also how you play for the other team. Like, let's say your top laner is splitting bot and they all go to shut down that top laner who's splitting bot. You should now be spam pinging Baron. Everyone should be going to the Baron. This is the free Baron for you, and Baron is the best objective to close out the game apart from Elder. It's like the biggest gold swing tempo objective in the game that you can get. And I swear, even in low diamond lobbies, the amount of times where I just have a jungler going bot lane, kill their top laner, and we just lose Baron for free, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess we lost. It's really, really bad. That is just one example of the macro though, but you really, I feel like that's such a big part of League. Someone goes bot, people try to shut him down, you lose Baron. Same way when Dragon or Elder is up, people go top, people try to shut that guy down, now you lost Elder or Soul or whatever, and obviously that shutdown was not worth what you lost at the bot lane or like the other way around. So when your team is making plays like that, you have to again ping them back. You have to tell them, yo guys, Baron is up in 10 seconds, we can't all go bot, we're gonna lose Baron for free. That kill is not worth it. Like, just ping him back. Another macro tip, I feel like this mostly applies, I mean honestly this applies to all heroes, Seed and Diamond as well, but a big part of League is also knowing where you cannot go at a certain game stage, which is kind of what I just said, but if you are a top laner and you're splitting the side of Baron, so the top side, the top lane is where you're splitting, and you die there because you're overextending, it really leaves Baron open to be taken by the enemy team because they're already there after killing you. Dying near an objective is really, really bad because the team has to barely move to then capitalize on your death. I feel like there's so much to say about the macro, but another thing about macro is knowing when to pressure and knowing when not to pressure. There's so many people that I see, like let's say you're on this side of the team and you're pushing here, let's say you're a top laner and you're splitting this tier 2 turret, you're out here, and then your team is like, I don't know, your jungler is, let's say your jungler is here, your bot lane is here, I don't know what they're doing, maybe they suck at the game, who cares, your mid laner is here, and then there's like a bunch of people coming for you and they're shutting you down, they're killing you free, and they're like, yo, why didn't my team do Baron? Why didn't my team do Baron? But you have to look at you have to realize though that your team is nowhere near the Baron. Like, yeah, they should be doing Baron when you are splitting this side, but you are splitting it when your team is not even like set up for you to pressure. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not pressuring in 2 spots right now, you're the only one pressuring. So you're pretty much just dying for free instead of waiting for your team, or even telling your team like, yo guys, go Baron, play around Baron, or even just like shove mid, play around mid and top, whatever, that works as well, while you're bot. Wait for them to push up first before you actually go for that tier 2, because if you die here and your team is here, maybe after they kill you, they can now go to the Baron, and then now you just lost Baron for free while you're actually trying to get it for your team. And just to make this Baron example clear as well, like an example would be, let's say all these turrets are gone, those are all gone, and you're your own top laner from this side, and you're splitting here to go for this tier 2, but your team is like over here, like let's say there's 3 there, maybe your jungler is like here, or if you're even there, and now these people are all coming for you, and you're dead, and you're like, oh guys, we should be doing Baron, but they're right near the Baron though. Like, if you die here, they can just force a fight on your team, which now is a 5v4 because you died here. Like, this is why it's really bad to split the side where the objective is. So don't, like, if you go here and you die and they're all here, great. Now they can all go here while their team is just all over here, shutting this guy down. But if you die near Baron, you're, like, pressuring the wrong side. You shouldn't be doing that. You're pressuring there for no reason, and your team can't really capitalize on it, I guess, unless by just pushing mid, but they're not even there yet. So it's like you're pressuring too early again. You have to wait for your team to pressure before you pressure. But regardless, I don't think you should be pressuring top here when Baron is up. You could do this when Soul is up though. When Soul is up, this is a perfect spot for you to pressure top or Elder, because then they can come for you and your team just rotates there, and then boom, Soul or Elder or Dragon for your team. Have to learn stuff like this. I feel like so often there's like split pushers dying and they're like blaming it on the team. They're like, yo guys, you're not getting Baron. And it's like, yeah, we're not, because we weren't in a position to take the Baron yet. You had to wait for us to even get there. Like, you're pressuring way too early. And if you're not a top laner and your top laner is doing that, just ping them back and be like, yo, wait for us to pressure mid first before you go to pressure a side lane. Because you're just dying for free right now. The last topic I'm going to be talking about in this video is going to be kind of like 2-in-1. It's going to be about, I guess, capitalizing on kills that you get and roaming pretty much in general. I feel like, if anything, this has been the most like roaming meta I've ever played, where supports are roaming constantly, even to the early game Void Corrupts, and it feels really, really bad. Me as a mid laner, it feels really bad to play for Void Corrupts in the 2v2 or 3v3 with top, and then have the enemy support roam there, while my support is sitting bot for basically no reason. Because, like, it just loses the game. You're playing for Void Corrupts, 3v3, and the support being there is such a huge difference in the team fight. Because if you lose that, then now top lane got screwed, mid lane got screwed, and jungle got screwed. All because the support lane roamed. Like, roaming is so strong. And it's not really just support, although I do think that support is kind of a broken roaming support role. Like, you can do so much as support. But it's the same for mid, like helping your jungler in the 2v2, or just like being there before your mid laner, or the enemy mid laner, I mean. Like, there's so often fights where my jungler is going for the crab, and I can rotate before the enemy mid laner, and then we just 2v1 for a free kill. And that's just an early game lead. We can do a lot with that. Like, you can snowball that into a win eventually. But this is another macro thing that you kind of just need to know. You need to figure out who has lane pressure where and what you can go for. You can't really play the game if you don't notice. Let's say there's a jungler. Sorry, I'm gonna bring out the paint again, but you just need to notice, or you can't play League literally. But like, let's say this jungler is going for, I mean, it could be Void Crabs, it could be just Scuttle Crab, and this guy is also going for Scuttle Crab. Let's say this is the enemy jungler. I should do it like this, so you know this is my side. So this is my jungler, and I'm here. This guy's shoved in the turret, and my top laner is, oh, let's make it a little bit complicated. He's there, and the enemy top laner is there. So these guys are obviously gonna 1v1 for the Scuttle, right? I have prio, so I can go here and help, but my top laner doesn't really have prio. So we gotta keep that in mind, that this guy probably rotates first, although this guy could go like this, but he'll be there a bit later. Which still wouldn't be that bad, because this guy will never be there before me. So this would be a pretty decent fight for us to take, because it would pretty much be a 2v1 at first, and then after that a 3v2, because this guy will probably be late. But you have to look at the lane priorities when you go for stuff like this. Even if you are going for this fight, and this guy is shoved on a turret, this guy is already missing, it could be that this guy already pathed down here to help, and now you're in the 2v2, which will soon be a 3v2 because the mid laner is rotating, while your top laner might still be stuck top. So you'd have to ping the top laner and see what he does. Maybe he doesn't want to move because the wave just got to his turret, stuff like that. but this is so important in the game. You have to look at these 2v2s, these 2v3s, see who has the prio, and see if these fights are winnable. If they're not winnable, okay, just don't go there. Ping your guy back, maybe type, yo, we can't win, top doesn't have prio, so at least you don't give away free kills, right? Maybe he can just leave and go for the other scuttle instead. Maybe your bot lane has pressure bot. You can't really see it, but maybe they have pressure bot, so this would be like safer, because their ball lane's over there, and then this is more free to go for. Like maybe that's better. I'm trying to make it to not sound like too complicated, but you have to just look at the lane prio and see what you can do, because there are so many fights where a jungler goes for like a scuttle or a 1v1 jungle skirmish, and then you don't rotate because you can't, because you might be shoved on a turret, and then you get like flamed, or they just get tilted because you didn't help them, but you couldn't have helped them because you were just shoved on a turret, right? You don't have the lane prio. And if you don't have the lane prio, you have to let people know, you have to ping them like, yo guys, can't rotate, I'm shoved on a turret, maybe just don't go for that, like ping them back, stuff like that. And then the other part of the topic was capitalizing on enemy deaths, which is pretty straightforward. You just kill someone and you get more out of it if you can. So let's say you kill the mid laner, okay, maybe now you can help your jungler in that specific jungle skirmish, maybe you can help him do void grubs, maybe you can get a dragon when you kill bot lane. Later into the game you can obviously go for the bigger objectives like a Baron or Soul or Elder, or it's the same with turrets though, like let's say you kill mid, or even plates, you kill your laner, you can go for a plate or two. Like if you do have the health to work with and it's free, there's no reason for you to not go for it. Obviously you don't want to just overextend on 1 HP after you just killed someone, but if you do, or if you're still healthy and you have mobility or whatever, or you have vision on everyone else and you know you can't be ganked, there's no reason why you shouldn't be going for towers or turrets or plates, or turning it into a dragon or a herald or void grubs. But it's also just as simple as just shoving your lane, making sure your wave crashes into the turret so the enemy loses the gold and the XP and just stuff like that. Because in the end the kills don't win you the game, it's the objectives that win you the game, right? You use the kills to get stronger to then get the objectives, and that's how you win. But it's also just let your teammate know what they can do. Like I said earlier in the video, sometimes we kill them, or we ace them, or we kill 4 and we can win the game, and there's just teammates spamming like Baron. Like guys, we can win. Just run it down, we can win. They have a 40-second death timer. Just hit the Nexus, we can win. And it's the same with Baron. Like let's say you get a triple kill around even 20 minutes and you have like a healthy champion that can tank the Baron. Like Baron goes down pretty fast. It's not as tanky as you think it is if you have like a decent damage champion. And if you get an early Baron, your chance of winning the game is so much higher because you can just turn it into a bigger gold lead and just do more with that. Like the gold lead turns into more kills, when the kills will turn into more turrets and more dragons. Like it's a snowball game, right? You're trying to get as much as possible as you can from a single kill. So it is always important to capitalize on whatever pick you get, if you can capitalize on it. Right, that was pretty much it for this video. So mostly, in short, it comes down to like macro your teammates and trying to negate them from like throwing the game and making mistakes, and what you can do to prevent those mistakes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. If you do enjoy the video, like I said, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And yeah, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.